What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm trying to do a quick pause there because this beginning often screws up and I want to make sure it all goes right. Not a whole lot of news around the MLB off the field, but I think for me the most interesting thing on the field is that we got, I think, like 6, maybe 7 teams now that are on streaks that are 5 or greater. Most of them are losing, but we have a couple of them on big winning streaks. The Brewers hit 11. They're now 2 away from a franchise record of 13, which would tie the franchise record where the team streak had 13. I think it was 1987, something like that. We have the Dodgers, who are at 8, and then we have the Cubs at 8 losses, and then a bunch of other teams at 6, 5 losses in a row. We'll touch on those as we go through the games. Otherwise, just want to jump into the games today. So jump down there, like, subscribe, comment, keep the conversation going, because that's what this channel is about, talking about all the games from the night before. And we're going to do in July 3rd, Saturday today, starting things off. We're going to rip through these today because these have been going a little longer than I had wanted. So I'm going to try and rapid fire some of these games. So bear with me if I miss some important parts. That's what the comment section is for. First game of the night, we got Mets 8, Yankees 3. Mets got out to 8-0 lead. They were cruising, and I know Yankees fans are very frustrated with how they've been performing, and rightfully so. They're not even able to get an offensive going really much. It's the Mets. The Mets offense pops off against them. Something to be concerned. Domingo Smith, 3 hit, 3 RBIs. Nemo, 3 hits. Home runs, we got Aaron Judge hitting his 19th of the season. He's starting to heat up a little bit on the home run front. He's going to cross that 20 threshold soon. I know he's a little bit behind the leaders, and he's normally up in there, but there's still half a season to go, and he could very much make it. Montgomery goes 4.13 and runs 6 Ks in the loss, and Taijuan Walker has a pretty good outing, 5.2, 2 earned runs, and 5 Ks. It's the Subway Series. Everyone gets excited about that, but Yankees fans not too happy with how things are going. Moving along, Blue Jays 6, Rays 3, and the Blue Jays getting a little bit of revenge from the last time these guys met, and now they've won back-to-back games against the Rays, and they're going to go in there looking for the series sweep. It's a big step for the Jays. They need to make up some ground on the Rays. Boston lost yesterday as well, so finally making up some ground on the people ahead of them. There's still quite a ways to go for them. Simber actually ends up getting the win in this one, making his first appearance as a Blue Jay. And we have some home runs. George Springer now back-to-back nights. He's up to 5 on the season. Espinal hitting his first of the season as a Blue Jay. And the offense pretty much coming alive for the Jays. And they got to be pretty excited about that. Margot hitting his 9th of the season, which actually tied the game at the time, 1-1. But they fell a little bit short. Stripling, 5.2, 105 Ks. Ever since that one game where Stripling came in and started in the second inning, he's been amazing for the Blue Jays. I think if you look at his last 8 or something starts, his ERA is great. Everything's great about him. I think he's found something and turned it on. McClanahan on the other side, 5.1, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks. Good outing for him. But the bullpen comes in and lets the Jays get some insurance runs, and the Jays run with it and go on to a nice victory. Moving along, we got the Phillies 4, Padres 2, and this game's 2-2 halfway through. And the Phillies, they get a lead in that 6th inning, a 2-run lead, but history has told us that the Phillies can't really hold a lead, especially with their bullpen, but today they do. So the bullpen actually comes in, gets a save. They put in Suarez for his first save of the season, and after the game it seems like they might look to go back to him, and why would you not after he gives you a save? It's something you've been looking for a long time. Darvish, 6 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 8 Ks in the loss. He's picking up his 3rd loss of the season. Not a great outing for him. He gave up 2 home runs throughout the game. Eflin goes 6, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks himself. Harper hitting his 14th of the season. Hoskins his 18th. Both those coming off of Darvish, and Manny Machado hitting his 13th of the season for the Padres, coming in that 1st inning. It's all the runs the Padres managed to muster, and they fall up a little bit short. Moving along with Brewers 11, Pirates 2, and Brewers just pouncing early and often on these Pirates, and they're really using this team and the somewhat easier schedule over this win streak to make up some ground. They swept the Cubs, which was important, maybe not the easiest part of the streak, but now they're playing the Pirates and they're keeping it rolling. And they were in here early, 5-1 after 2 innings, adding a couple runs in the 6th, couple runs in the 8th, couple runs in the 9th, and they come away with a big win. They're now going to be facing the Pirates again today, obviously, and with power rankings around the corner, look for a big boost for them tonight when I do up the power rankings. Yelich scored 3 runs in this game, 1 hit, 3 walks, so his on base is definitely getting way up there, and even his batting average starting to rise. No home runs, believe it or not, from the Brewers in this game with all those runs scored. On the other side, Ben Gamel in his 4th for the Pirates. Pirates sent out somewhat of a bullpen game. Ponce goes 1.2, 5 earned runs. Not really a bullpen, I guess, but they probably yanked him after he was getting kind of lit up. Lower for the Brewers, 6.1, 1 earned run, 4 Ks. And between Lower and Hauser, and those were my concerns with the Brewers, the back end of the rotation, they've been solid for at least the past number of weeks. So Brewers definitely heating up top of the Central. Moving along to the other part of the Central, the other streaking team, it's the Chicago Cubs. They're on an 8-game losing streak, and believe it or not, 8 games ago they were tied with Milwaukee for leading this division, and now 8 games later we are 8 games back from the division lead. I don't know the last time something like that probably happened. As an American League East fan and all that stuff, it's probably back when that September where the Red Sox went on that run, but I don't think it was within 8 games. They made up 8 games, so this has got to be some sort of record. From going to above 500 to basically 1 game above 500, Cubs are falling apart. They had a lead in this one, 2-0, but they couldn't hold it. The Reds come, and believe it or not, the Reds are now ahead of the Cubs in the standings as well, so Cubs dropping hard. Votto hitting his 11th home run of the season. Tyler Naquin his 13th. Both those solo shots coming in 4th and 5th, making the difference. Chris Bryant hits his 16th of the season, giving this team a lead at the time, and not enough. Alzolay goes 7, 306 Ks, gets the loss in this one. He's now 4-8 on the season. He's been pretty consistent, though, in having good outings, and this is just one of those where it's too bad. And they had to bring Kimbrel in for that last out of the game. Malay goes 5, 107 Ks, and he gets the no decision. His team bails him out, and the bullpen closes the door on the Cubs, and the Cubs are falling further and further behind the Brewers, and it's starting to look a little slim for them. Royals 6, Twins 3. It's a battle. Twins is one of those teams that is on a losing streak. They've now lost 5 straight, and they are very much the bottom of this division. And the Royals, I think they had a little bit of a wake-up call when I put them in the bottom row of the power rankings, and they've come out this week a little bit more of an offensive fire lit under them, and honestly, I think they owe it to me. So what can you say there? They talked about after the game, the Royals finally able to put some innings together lately where they put up multiple runs. I think in this game they're referencing the 4th inning where they put up 4. For home runs, we got Olivares hitting his 1st of the season for the Royals, a guy that I've never heard of. If you're a Royals fan, fill us in on some of these guys. So it looks like they're starting to rotate some. Alcides Escobar, who is a big part of their World Series team in the shortstop, was traded from the Royals. He's been playing in AAA. He was traded to the Nationals, so that's just one trade that went down yesterday. Larnach, his 6th of the season for the Twins. Jax goes 5, 6 earned runs, 3 Ks. He's now 1-1 on the season. Rough start for him. His ERA is 8.66. Don't know too much about him. Danny Duffy goes 4, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks in the win. And he gets the no decision because he only goes the 4 innings. Moving along, Tigers 11, White Sox 5. Not a whole lot to say here. Tigers offense, we know it. They're capable of these kind of outings. And I think the only problem with the Tigers at this point is the inconsistency. Like, on a great day, their pitching can be amazing. Their bullpen, that's a little scary on certain days, but they can get it done. And then on a great day as well, their offense can have days like this. It's not too far between. It does happen. Scope had a nice 2-hit, 3 RBI night. The guy on the cover, Eric Hasse, 3 hits, 6 RBIs. He had a 2 home run night for 11 home runs on the season. Scope hits his 16th of the season as well. And then we have Garcia for the White Sox in his 2nd. Skubal going to get the win, and this one goes 5 earned runs, so not a great outing, but again, he got the run support, and that sometimes is all the difference. The wins and losses don't always tell the whole story. On the other side, Keuchel goes 4, 7 earned runs, 2 Ks. One of his rougher starts as of late, for sure. We haven't seen Keiko put up that kind of numbers against in a while. But I'm not going to be too concerned. The White Sox have been playing very well as of late, so it's just one game, and Tigers are very capable of those kind of games. Marlins 3, Braves 2. The rivalry continues here. The Marlins picking up a big win to send this to a split, I think, so far this weekend. Marlins were at 2-1, Braves added 1, and then the Marlins went up 3-1, and the Braves just couldn't add any offense going. Acuna Jr. was held hitless. I think that's, I guess, the guy you want to focus on. Cooper for the Marlins goes 2 hits, 2 RBIs. He's probably the highlight of that. He hits his 7th home run of the season. Otherwise, there's not a lot of offense to talk about. Alcantara goes 6, 0 runs, 4 Ks. This guy, even though he's 5-7, it just kind of goes back to the conversation I was just saying. Wins don't matter too much. They don't really show what kind of pitcher he's been. Alcantara, he's been amazing this year. He's 2.96 ERA. Most of the Miami pitchers have. Muller on the other side goes 5.2, 3 runs, 7 Ks. He's going to get the loss, but again, it's one of those, he was very much in the game, and his team just didn't give him the offensive support to get him off the hook, and they're going to get the loss. Astros 3, Indians 2. Indians are another one of those teams, streaking losers, 5 losses in a row now for them, and honestly, it's probably going to keep spiraling out of control for them. From my perspective, it looks like they're in a little bit of a rough situation to be able to make a run at playoffs at this point. Astros got out to 3-run lead by the 4th inning. Indians tried to chip away at it, but just falling a little bit short, and the Astros bullpen closing the door, only giving up 1 earned run along the way. Carrera hits his 16th of the season. Toro his 3rd, and we have no home runs coming from the Indian side. Odorizzi goes 6, 1 earned run, 2 Ks. He's now 3-3 on the season. Ever since he's come back, he's been pretty great, and Houston really big boost to the rotation having him back. And then the bullpen comes in and closes the door with 0 earned runs to the Indians. And then on the other side, Morgan goes 5, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks. One of his better outings, his ERA is 8.44, and the rotation for Cleveland has not been consistent, but it's going to be too short, too little, too late, etc. Dodgers 5, Nationals 3. This one had a long rain delay in the middle of it when it was 3-3, but when we came back to play, the Dodgers bullpen shut the door out, and the Dodgers managed to squeeze in a couple of runs to give them a 5-3 lead. No home runs coming from the Dodgers side. Again, a little bit surprising. Dodgers managing to put offense strictly from hitting the ball, and Gomes for the Nationals hitting his 8th of the season. Nationals, poor guys. Kyle Schwarber, the hottest hitter in baseball, he's going to be missing some games. Kershaw goes 4, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks. Espino goes 4.1, 3 earned runs, 2 Ks. Both these guys, shorter outings. I don't know if that specifically had to do with the rain delay. It was right around the time of the rain delay, so very much could have got 1 out, and then they had to pull it. And then the bullpens come in, and as you know, Kenley Jansen, 21st save of the season. Moving along, this game was intense. Athletics 7, Red Sox 6, back and forth. This game was the extra innings where it's very heated, and the A's, honestly, the A's had a good chance to win. I think it was the 10th, where they had the bases loaded, no out, and they managed to not score a run off a failed bunt and then a failed run at home. It was just pretty atrocious, but they managed to squeeze it out in the end. Even though Boston put up 2 in the top of the 12th, they answered back with 3, so they managed to squeeze it out, which I had my concerns. There's a couple of guys on the A's that had 3 hit nights, which is a big part of what their offense was. 15 hit night on the other side, Boston. Hernandez hits his 10th of the season, and we have no home runs coming from Oakland. Irving goes 7, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks in the no decision. He actually, I think, left this game when his team was losing. He only had 2 earned runs, so of the 4 runs that were already scored, 2 of them were unearned. His team committed a couple errors. Garrett Richards goes 5, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks himself in the no decision. And we see Hernandez getting charged with the blown save. That came in the 8th inning, where the A's scored 2 runs to tie it up 4-4 to send it to extras. And Andrews is going to get charged with blown save / loss in that 12th inning. Moving along, we got the Rockies 3, Cardinals 2. This game was starters. I'm going to go down on the starters because that's where it all started. Freeland goes 6, 0 earned runs, 3 Ks, and LeBlanc goes 5.2, 0 earned runs. So both these starters didn't give up a run. And it wasn't until Trevor Story came up to the bat, hit his 10th home run of the season, in that 7th inning to give his team a 3-run lead, and that was all it took. The Cardinals tried to inch back, and there were 2 in the 8th, but they fell short, in that 3-run home run from Trevor Story is the reason why he's on the front page today of my channel. But Rockies pick up a nice win, and Cardinals, they're in 4th in that division. That division is starting to be more and more Brewers. Angels 4, Orioles 1. Angels put up a couple runs in this first inning. Ohtani, after coming off the night he did yesterday, 2 home runs and running home for the win, I don't think the Orioles really wanted to pitch to him because he got 2 at-bats overall, and 3 times he was walked. It seems like teams might really start to pitch around him, which is kind of unfortunate because we want to see this guy bat the ball, right? No home runs in this game at all. The Angels were up 3-0 after 2, and Orioles tried. They got 1 run in the 3rd, but it wasn't enough, and Angels added some insurance along the way. Otherwise, it wasn't a whole lot of offense. Alex Cobb, big story here, 7.2 innings, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, one of his best starts in a long time. I don't remember the last time he went that deep into a ball game. He pitched 112 pitches, and if the Angels can finally get some guys to get some starting pitching, some consistent starting pitching, they actually have a great team. So that's always been what's been holding them back, is that. On the other side, Jorge Lopez goes 4.24 earned runs, and Plutko comes in for the long relief, and then the loss goes to the O's. Giants 6, Diamondbacks 5. This game back and forth, and Giants again find a way to squeeze out a nice win against the team that they need to pick up some wins against, because those streaking Dodgers are right behind them. Giants up 4-0 in the top of the 3rd, but Diamondbacks put up 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th to bring it within 4-4, and they even take a lead here, 5-4 in that 5th inning. Giants do find a win though, put up 2 runs in the 8th, which ends up being the difference for that 1-run difference. Stremski hits his 12th of the season. Slater in that 8th inning hits a 2-run bomb, which is that difference, his 8th of the season. And Nick Ahmed for the Arizona Diamondbacks hits his 2nd. Long goes 4 earned runs, 6 Ks. I know the depth at San Francisco's pitching is being tested. That's why we got Long out there. We haven't seen Aaron Sanchez in a little bit, who normally has that 5th, 4th spot. Faria, 4 innings pitched, 4 earned runs and 3 Ks. And then the bullpen comes in, and Butcher is going to get charged with the blown save and the loss. Rangers 7, Mariners 3. Rangers playing spoiler on these Mariners, who had a amazing week going. They had a big series win against the Blue Jays, and then they come in back home against Texas, and they're kind of blowing a chance to take some control over this wild card race, at least show that they're very much in the hunt. Texas is playing spoiler like they have all season. They've always put up a competition night in, night out, and that's what you gotta give a lot of respect to Texas, because they have the long ball. Jay Hicks, 2 home runs in this game. He had 3 on the season now. Evan White, his 4th of the season as well. And Texas, their offense just popped off 3rd and 4th. They're up 7-1, and believe it or not, Seattle just couldn't get back in there. Seager hits his 15th of the season. I think I read an interesting stat here, was that Fraley, the guy in the center of this lineup, is leading the Mariners in walks, which is interesting only because he's only played about 38% of the Mariners games this season. So shout out to Fraley. He gets a little mini shout out. You don't see those kind of stats very often. Lyles goes 6, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, and Marwin Gonzalez goes 3.16 earned runs and 4 Ks. This is a lost opportunity for Seattle this weekend. They really had a chance to at least be one, maybe half a game back in the wild card, even take that wild card spot. But now, when they made up that ground on the Blue Jays earlier in the week, they've lost all that ground because the Jays have won, and they've lost. So essentially, they've lost ground on the Jays this week, and they're losing a little bit of ground in the wild card race. And you want to see Seattle succeed. They've been kind of hovering around middling team for a while, bottom of the pack. So watching them have a chance, every time I start to focus on them, they seem to fall apart a little bit. But yeah, that pretty much is it. I think that was the 15 games. I'm just going to double check. I felt like I forgot one, but that's the 15 games from yesterday. Not a lot of news off the field, which is sometimes a good thing, because then we can actually focus on the baseball. And we had like 7 streaking teams, which I put all in the description below. So if you missed that, check that out. And we will see everyone for power rankings tonight, everyone's favorite video. And we'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.